Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mohammed Hassanato, a data science major sophomore from Aleppo.
My name is Gabe Safi. I go by Safi, and I'm a fifth year senior finance and economics from Damascus.
Hello, I'm Murad Sirafi, I'm senior history major.
Hi, I'm Walid Sanato. I'm a finance and mathematics major, and I'm a junior.
The floor is all yours.
I'm sorry, I really tried hard to get here earlier. First of all, ethics is a very interesting topic to begin with. And next, to thinking what is ethical, what's not, because there's too much division, confusion about what that means to begin with. But yet, another component of that is to determine what is most important. So I suspect that you address that. But to me, I think we have to continue to return to distractions. The many distractions that we have that disputes the importance of such a moment as determining what is ethical and what is not. So if any of you would respond to clear my mind, thank you very much.
I mean, that's a good question, and it's kind of hard to tell, exactly what is ethical and what isn't. I think it's safe to say that we probably can say that there's like a spectrum. Thank you. Like a spectrum for what's ethical and what's not. Some stuff are obvious, like don't be mean towards people who don't deserve it, or like that's what would be ethical. Dave wants to ask something.
So one more thing. Before I took Dr. Craig's class, I thought ethics about being just good versus being bad. Then I took her class, and there's so much more. I mean, I already took like 4 exams, so believe me, it's way more than being bad. But there's one thing I learned for sure, is that you have to have a lot of respect towards others, towards the environment that you live in, towards animals, towards people from different race, people from different cultures. And I think when you start learning how to be good towards everyone that you encounter in your life, that's when you become ethical. And that doesn't only apply for Syrian refugees or for American citizens, it applies for everybody in this world.
Question of curiosity, not judgment, but here we've got 4 able men. Are there any women involved in the Syrian presence here in Evansville?
We actually have 2 ladies.
They're over here.
I'm not sure.
We have 2 of them, just, they're very shy. That's what I'm saying, right there in the back. But they're 2 of our favorite students, and I think one of the main reasons why there's not a lot of ladies over here is because a lot of parents kind of feel, they're scared of sending their kids all the way to the U.S., which is very far from home, just to get education. And so that's probably one of the reasons. Because both of them are actually sisters of our other students.
I also think there's another component to students, Syrian students being predominantly male, is that Syrian households usually have a limited amount of income, and Syrian students our age are drafted to the military. With that being said, families will always prefer sending the males out of the country as soon as they can, and then maybe drag the rest of the family with them. But yeah, I think it's also a fear component to it.
Also, one thing to add is that usually the guys are more targeted in the war than the females. So, the females, they don't have any military service to do, while the guys, if we stay there, we will be drafted to the military, and we don't want to kill people, so
So if you were to direct us in terms of how we could help best or most, what would that be?
I think one of the first things I want to say is a lot of people right nowadays, after all the things that happen in Syria, they look at Syrian people and they look at us in a sympathy kind of way. What I say is, I think you should guys more educate yourselves more towards what's going on in Syria. Understand that not everyone is the same back there. There's a very small percentage of people who are doing all this chaos, just like they are in other third countries. We're not like this. We're just normal people. We're just people here in the U.S. trying to get education. We're just like everyone else. So if there's one thing I would advise is, first of all, to educate yourself that, we're all the same. And then second of all is, after you educate yourself, when you hear about opportunities, to help, whether it was sending money, whether it was something through Scholars for Syria, or anything of that nature, then because you educated yourself, then because you know that we're just normal people, then you can make a difference, then you can make an impact. So I think it's really goes down to be educated about the crisis, about the issue about everyone there.
There's also another aspect of helping. There's many organizations you can also donate to, such as Scholars for Syria. There's another one called Road to Mafra. They work to educate Syrian refugee children in Jordan in the camps, and they recently built many scientific corners there, supplied with computers, books, all of those stuff. And yeah, that would be great to help those children to get their education, because if you have an educated person, it's much you help. That's great help for them. So yeah.
Okay, several of you guys have been into the Evansville schools to talk about Syria and the crisis and your culture. Going back to Dr. Kutz's talk, do you think that there was an emotional component there from you guys being there that they wouldn't have otherwise gotten? Did you see that at all?
Definitely. When you guys did your GAP presentation, one of the things that was actually very good is that you guys took surveys before and after the presentations, and you can see that a lot of people's perspective and idea about Syria and the crisis changed big time. It shifted dramatically. One of the questions you guys had is whether you would take a Syrian refugee or whether you would help a Syrian refugee. And before the survey before the presentation was, I think, mostly saying, yes to no, but maybe. But then afterwards, after that emotional connection, after answering their questions, just like what's going on right now, I hope, is it's a big shift. Everyone starts saying yes, we'll take in, they start understanding things. So just like Dr. Kritz said, having the Syrian students presenting something or having that connection with the Syrian student is a big difference, because hearing the story from the news is completely different than hearing it from somebody who actually went through it or knows somebody who went through it.
I think with Dr. Kretz's presentation today, it was very reassuring to a lot of we learned in our journey at Scholars for Syria over the last almost year and a half, 2 years. Because we've seen how much exposure can do in terms of breaking stereotypes, connecting emotionally to people. And now to hear it from a scholar is very significant, I guess. So, as Syrians, we find it as a responsibility to get out in the community, engage with people, meet people of different backgrounds, different opinions, different political stances, and yeah, it's of tremendous value.
And let me add one more thing, is that the media and nowadays we get all our thoughts and most of our ideas from the media. So the media can literally just basically tell you what to think. But having us there going out and presenting and speaking to people will make that difference. Prove that we are not, the people they're showing on the news, because we really are not. Other questions?
Is there something that you could share about something that maybe your family or friends back home are going through that would help us with that emotional proximity? Even mentioning the fact that you drafted into the Army, I guess that's something that I didn't realize, and that makes me kind of, that was something that I didn't know about. So anything that would help us just understand what kind of people are going through there.
Well, based on my friends, I have a lot of friends who are in medical school now and in dental school. I know engineer. Like their lifestyle is every single day there's like a bomb in one of this part of the city. They know about their friends get kidnapped. Some of them get killed. Some of them travel just to find a better place to live. The families, they're separate. Most people, they don't live with their parents anymore. They can't see their parents anymore, especially those who traveled outside the country to find a better future for them. especially as you see the story for Anna, that person, usually only the children who travel or like teenagers. And that's because it's really, really dangerous to do this travel. So they're left without parents, without any moral support.
And I want to say something about Syria. What's going on right now, I mean, to understand what's going on is people over there are just, they don't care about who's in charge or who's, they just want to live their normal lives. And what's going on is they're being right between ISIS, the regime, other, criminals from all kinds. There's so many groups killing each other. They're all trying to get power, they're all trying to make money and so forth. And what's going on is you're being trapped in the middle. The ISIS comes to you and be like, you have to either join us or we'll kill you, or they have to pay a certain amount of money. And then another power will come and they will say the same exact thing. And you're literally running out of options. What do? Your only option is to leave the country. Well, no one's going to give you a visa. So what do? You have to cross the sea in those boats, just like you saw. And I saw a saying or a quote that says, it's crazy to think about it this way, but if you're actually willing to take the risk to go onto these boats and have that risk of losing your life, losing your wife's life, your kid's life, and can you imagine how horrible it is for them on the land that they're taking the sea instead? I mean, it's that horrible. And I understand a lot of people would take the risk to risk their own lives, but no one would risk their wife's life. No one would risk their kids' lives, except if it was absolutely necessary. And they're getting to that point where it is absolutely necessary to leave the country.
I get a sense that with your question, you're looking for a personal anecdote, maybe. And I mean, I just came across a story that I heard about a friend recently. I could tell you right now. I was speaking to an immigration lawyer and considering applying for asylum. When asylum is a very complicated process, one of the things that arises is that you need to communicate with somebody who has recently left the country or is actually in the country, so they can describe the situation. And they need to be somebody the same age, same gender, same political views to describe why it's dangerous for a person like myself to be in the country at that time. And I remember a friend I used to play around when I used to go on summer vacations to Syria. And I tried to communicate with him, and he wouldn't respond on Facebook. I asked my mother. She said he's been missing for 2 years. And this happened like a month ago. And, he's been captured by the government. He's in military restraint. And we have no news of him, but a couple of weeks ago we get news that he's passed away. Now, I bring up these issues just to say that I find it very miraculous that the 22 or 24 of us made it here. Because in fact, people of our political views, of our gender, of our age, are at very huge risk in the country at that moment.
Thank you all very much. I very much appreciate your answers.
Great.
Another question, that's great. But in the present political environment that we've got here in the United States, and without making any judgment on whether Trump's restrictions are valid or not, I'd be interested in your thoughts on, if I can say this right, the fairness, or the reality of, or the fairness of the situation of, do we restrict immigration and visas to keep out bad guys versus being more open to let the good guys be able to come in? I mean, from our self-preservation is, and I mean, you understand what I'm trying to ask? How realistic is, if you can remove yourself from the political adversarial commentary, how realistic is it of a need to have this kind of filter?
So I'll tell you a story. Suppose you're an American citizen, you have family overseas, you have a wife, you have a son, you have children, like your children, and they're Syrians. Unfortunately, they are Syrians, and you're the only American citizen. If you came here and you want better life, it's your home country, and if you want to bring them, based on this travel ban or this immigration temporary ban, you won't be able to bring them here. You will have to live without them, or you will have to go back and live with them in very dangerous situation. While other people from other countries and very safe countries, and they don't really need to come here because their countries are safe. They can so easily come over and sponsor their family, whoever, even like their far relative people, and they can come here. So if it comes about fairness, I mean, those people are good. My dad, he came in December. My sister is an American citizen, so he came as an immigration visa. If he was late, just like, I think, a month or two, he wouldn't be able to make it here if the travel ban was activated. My dad is a dentist, and like our family, like, we're known to be decent people, and most people are decent people. So it won't be really fair, and it'll be really sad.
And one more thing, I mean, I'm gonna take a different approach to your question. I'm gonna think about it as an American citizen. I mean, I get that my president is saying that I'm gonna ban these people from entering because they're causing, terrorist attacks and so forth. If I was an American citizen, I'll be, okay, great, you should not let them in. But I was just reading the Wall Street Journal like 3 days ago, and the amount of terrorist attacks that were done by Syrian citizens in the US is zero. Absolutely zero. So you're speaking to your people, and you're telling them that I'm not gonna let these people in because they caused a lot of damage in the past. Well, the truth is they haven't. We didn't do anything. The only thing you're doing is you're not letting us in, and no one else is letting us in. You're just putting us in this big prison called Syria, where you can't do anything except for wait to either get bombed. Like yesterday, there was a huge suicide bomb, like in the middle of Damascus, in the middle of the city center. So you're just sitting there, no jobs, no education. You're just waiting to either be killed or have to kill somebody, and just literally have no rights. And then you're speaking to the American people, and you're telling them we're not gonna let them in. Why? We're not causing anything. The people who make it here, they actually make it big. They're all doctors, they're great engineers, they go get their PhDs, and they make a big change in the world. And they are very good American citizens in the end. Because once you're here for a while, you become an American citizen, you become a part of the community, and then you give back. And believe me, we give back big time, because we know, the difference between being here and being somewhere else. So until you're banning us from coming here, it just makes no sense to me. And I understand a lot of people have, support Trump, and for different reasons, economic reasons and so forth. Have no problem with that, but just in that particular thing, I think we need to think about it from a different angle, from a different perspective.